So let us start. On the last time, I was telling that there is no sharp boundary between an ionic bond and a covalent bond, but still we study them as separate entities because it is convenient. The reason was that there is no bond which is 100% ionic and there is no bond which is 100% covalent. And we then proceeded to lattices which are made when there is ionic bonding in a substance. And these lattices generate well-defined geometries which are called unit cells. And these geometries contain or possess symmetry and symmetry elements. This is not only true for the lattices and unit cells, but this symmetry is also followed by the molecules which are generated due to covalent bonding and hybridization, the theory hybridization, which we use to explain these molecular geometries. So we have been talking about the symmetry elements present in a methane molecule or a regular tetrahedron. And we found out that there are four C3 axes in this molecule. And the question was, is there any other symmetry axis present into it? So I would say that there are C2 axis present into it, and it may not be easy to view them how they are present for some people. So I tell you in a simple way how to visualize the C2 axis into it. For that, what you have to do, you have to construct the tetrahedron inside the cube. So this is your cube, here is your carbon. If you join like this, you will get a perfect tetrahedron inside the cube. So, where is the C2 axis? The axis is passing through the face center this and face center this of these two opposite faces of the cube. If you draw a line, then this is the C2 axis for this tetrahedron. Why? You rotate, you see the cube is imaginary. Don't look right now at the cube. You rotate this tetrahedron by 180 degree. This edge will come here, this edge will come here, this edge will go there, that edge will come here. So it will give a similar orientation before and after rotation. So it's a C2 axis. If I ask you how many C2 axes are there, then I hope you can see that there are three C2 axes and they can be made by joining. The second one can be made by joining these two face centers of the cube, of the imaginary cube. And the third one can be made by the face center of this cube face and that face, something like that. In other words, if you consider this carbon as origin and you draw XYZ axis, then all these XYZ axis will be the C2 axis for the tetrahedron as well. So there are three C2 axes present in the tetrahedron. Before I proceed further, first I would like to discuss the cube itself, because sodium chloride has a cubic unit cell. So let us try to find out what are the number of symmetry axes inside the cube. This is a cube, and this has two squares, one above each other. So this can be a C4 axis for the cube. Because if you have seen the platinum tetrachloride square planar molecule, and you can see a C4 axis perpendicular to its plane. So in the same way, this is one square plane, this is another square plane stacked over each other. And so there is a C4 axis. How many are there? Now you can say that there should be 3 C4 axes. The way in the previous example I told you the 3 C2 axes. Consider this body center of the cube as origin and draw x, y, z axis. They will give you, so total there are 3 C4 axes. Needless to say that these C4 axes will also work as C2 axis as well. Because 2 times C4 is 1 times C2. Rotate by 90, then again 90. It is rotation by 180. And these are also working as C2 axis. But when we will give the total count of the axis, we will not count these as separate C2 axis because they are inherited in the C4 axis. There are some C2 axis in this cube, but their location is different. So they will be counted differently. So there are 3 C4 axes. Now, if you want to find a C3 axis into it, you have to find out an equilateral triangle somewhere into it. And through the body center of that equilateral triangle, the C3 will exist. So that cube can be seen like this. That triangle can be seen like this. A hypothetical triangular plane can be made into it, imaginary. And don't go with this figure because actually the body center of this triangle will be same as the body center of the cube, which is somehow dislocated appearing here. But anyway, don't mind it. So this body center of the triangle and the cube are same, and perpendicular to this plane, the axis will exist passing through these two opposite corners. Actually, it may be a little difficult to make this axis because of 3-dimensional nature of the figure. But the crux of the matter is that a C3 axis in a cube passes through two opposite corners. Mind you. This one and this one are two opposite corners. Similarly, this one and this one are another two opposite corners. So now, without doing so much of art into it, I can ask you how many C3 will be there. So answer obviously is 4. Why? Because total there are 8 corners. So there are 4 pairs of opposite corners. Hence there should be 4 C3 axes. So 2 things we knew. There are C4 axis into it, and one C4 axis passes through the opposite face centers. So the total number will be 3 because there are 6 faces. So 3 pairs of opposite faces. Similarly, there are 4 C3 axes. Now we will try to find out a C2 axis into this cube other than the 3 which are inherited in the C4. So for a C2, you will look for a line, and in the middle of that line, C2 exists. So there are so many lines in the cube. There are 12 lines, 12 edges, and C2 passes through the centers of opposite edges. Mind you. Centers of opposite edges. That is this. This is the C2 axis. If you rotate the entire cube around this axis by 180 degree, you will get similar orientation. How many C2 will be there? Since there are 12 edges, 12 lines, 6 pairs of opposite edges, hence there will be 6 C2 axes inside the cube. So you should note down it separately that total there are 4 and 3, 7 and 6, 13 C type of axis of symmetry in a cube. Okay. So now we will proceed to the another geometry which is important for us because we know so many molecules exist in that geometry. And also I started this topic symmetry by telling you that if you crystallize sodium chloride from water, it will give cubic shaped crystals. But if you crystallize this from ethanol, it will give octahedral crystals. You can find the photographs of these two types, actual photograph on internet. So many papers are there, they are available. So from there we began. So obviously we will now try to find out the symmetry axis in the octahedron, because the reason cited was that cube and octahedron have almost same symmetry elements. That is why sodium chloride sometimes give an external shape of cube and sometimes give an external shape of octahedron. So if an octahedron is like this, only one is square plane I made right now, but you will see there are 3 square planes like this into it, which exist at the same time into it. So if this is a square plane, then this must be your C4 axis. Similarly, we can visualize a square plane by joining these two and like this. Then perpendicular to this square plane, this axis will exist as C4. Okay. Similarly, you can also visualize another square plane into it, and this bond, these two trans bonds, they will constitute another C4 axis for the octahedron. I don't know whether there is an interruption into it or not, but anyway, there are 3 C4 axes into it, and basically any two trans bonds of the regular octahedron of the regular, for example, if I make a square like this, then this will become a C4 axis. This was the third one. So you will write that there are 3 C4 axes in the octahedron. Where is location? You will answer that any two opposite trans bonds, a line passing through them will make a C4 axis. Take care. And how much were in the cube? There were also 3 C4 axes, if you remember. we should also find out the C3 axis. So again, if you look at the octahedron, and if you can see, if you join this point with any two other points with the any two other points situated at the square plane perpendicular to this point. This is the plane square, one point is here. So from here you join by imaginary lines these 2 points, then it will make a equilateral triangle. And obviously perpendicular to this triangle, this will be like this. If I am viewing the octahedron from this position, it will look like this. The axis will pass. C3 axis will pass. So this C3 axis will pass through, another triangle can be constructed here by joining this point with the perpendicular 2 points of the perpendicular square plane to make a triangle. So eventually, if you look from here, what you will see a triangle like this, and you will see a triangle like this, superimposed, not superimposed actually, stacked over each other, and the centroid of both the triangles will be coinciding over each other. So they have a distance, and this is the C3 axis passing through them. Not common actually. They will be lying on the same line. Centers. So this is one C3 axis. What was this? This was C4. So this is C3 axis. How many C3 will be there? So very easy to say. Octahedron means 8 faces. So there are 8 faces. So there must be 4 C3 axes into it. One I have shown. Rest you imagine, visualize. If you cannot, then you can ask me in the discussion forum again. I will explain it. So, where are the C2 axes in this geometry? Just listen with small attention, more attention. This was the PtCl4 structure, platinum metachloride, and I said that there are 4 C2 axes into it. One was this, second was this, third was this, and fourth was this. Notably, this geometry has only one square. So when there is one regular square, you have 4 C2 axes perpendicular to the C4 axis. But in octahedron, I tell you there are 6 C2 axes. How you will find out? As we saw that when defining C4 axis, that there are 3 squares into it. So you take all the 3 squares. Every square in principle should have 4 C2 axes as shown here. But I tell you to consider only these two only, this one and this one. Not the diagonal ones. Not the diagonal ones. So octahedron has 3 squares, square planes. In every square plane you consider 2 C2 axes which are cutting the opposite sides. Ignore which are along the diagonals. Later I will tell you why. So that way there are 3 squares. So obviously there should be 3, there should be 6 C2 axes. Because from every square you are taking only 2 C2 axes. Now why you are ignoring here the diagonal ones? This is a question we will discuss in the discussion forum. And I would like to see if any one of you can explain me. Because already I have told about that. I have spoken about that, if you remember. And try to correlate. So, in octahedral also we found so many symmetry axes, which were equal to the symmetry axis present in the cube. Now, let us go to the next element of symmetry, which is called plane of symmetry. Let us start with the simplest molecule, CO2. It has a plane of symmetry here, lying on the C2 axis, exactly on that axis. And what is a mirror plane of symmetry? If you put a mirror plane, then the image of this half will be exactly as the second half. That's what the definition of mirror plane of symmetry. Also we can say that it is a plane which exactly divides the body into 2 equal halves. That is situation here. Similarly, you go for the BCl3 molecule. So how many planes of symmetry are there? So one plane is the molecular plane itself. One plane is the molecular plane itself, mirror plane of symmetry. It is considered as if this boron is a sphere and these are spheres. Then it is actually dividing all the 4 spheres into 2 equal parts. So this is mirror plane of symmetry. Mirror plane of symmetry is given symbol sigma. It should not be considered 6, it is sigma. And it's generally of 2 types, although there are some other types, but for you, generally of 2 types. This is called sigma H, sigma horizontal. H means horizontal. And of course, you can see here is the mirror plane. Here is the mirror plane. Here is the mirror plane. These are also present here. Which are dividing into 2 equal parts. And you can see that this mirror plane is like this, and it is perpendicular to the sigma H. If molecular plane is this, then the plane is like this. In other words, it is on the 3C2 axis, which are perpendicular to the sole C3 axis and BCl3. It's lying on them. So these are called sigma verticals. These are called sigma V. Verticals. So we found out that in BCl3 there is 1 sigma horizontal and 3 sigma verticals. Let us go to the BTCl4, square planar molecule. So how many mirror planes are there? Obviously, there is one sigma h, means the plane of the molecule itself is a mirror plane, and there are four vertical planes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. In other words, they are lying on the 4 C2 axis which will exist in this body. So there is one sigma h and 4. Now some people subdivide the sigma verticals. So I will say 2 sigma v and 2 sigma v dash. Anyone you can assign to a diagonal ones as sigma v, then the other ones will become sigma v dash. Or if you write 4 sigma v, it's also okay, not bad. So these are the symmetry planes present in the square plane, molecule. Let's go to ECl5, which is TBP, trigonal bipyramidal molecule. It will have same situation as in BCl3. Means this is 1 sigma h into it and 3 sigma verticals along the 3 PCl bonds. This one. So 1 sigma horizontal and 3 sigma verticals along the 3 PCl bonds. Again, let us go to the tetrahedron. But before going to tetrahedron, I would like to discuss first the cube. How many symmetry planes are present in the cube? There is a reason for that. I will discuss later on why. So, if this is a cube, so you can note down that in a cube there are 2 types of planes of symmetry. One type are called rectangular plane of symmetry, which are present in the middle of the 2 opposite faces. This is one face, this is another face, these 2 opposite faces, and the plane is in the middle of the 2 opposite faces. Obviously, it divides the cube into 2 equal parts. So, rectangular planes of symmetry are present in the middle of the 2 opposite faces. The question is how much will be the total number? So, there are 6 faces in the cube. So, there should be 3 rectangular plane of symmetries. And I am trying to show them. This is the second one. I don't know how to get colors into it. Done. So this will be the third one. Okay. So you can note down there are 3 rectangular planes. I don't know why they are not called sigma h or sigma v here, but the name what is in practice I am telling you is the rectangular planes of symmetry. Another type of plane of symmetry are called diagonal planes of symmetry. So diagonal planes are obviously line like this, line like this. This is one diagonal plane of symmetry. If you ask to define it, then you say that one diagonal plane of symmetry can be made by joining two opposite edges. This is one edge, this is another edge. You are joining them, you are getting the diagonal plane of symmetry. The second one can be made like this. How will be total number? How much? The answer is 6. Why? Because there are 12 edges. And if there are 12 edges, then there are 6 pairs of opposite edges. So just for your fun, I will draw 2 more. One plane, okay? This edge and that edge, this edge and that edge. We have made. I mean, third one also can be drawn, but I won't take that much pain, you do it. So you'll note down that there are 3 rectangular planes of symmetry and 6 diagonal planes of symmetry in the cube. Now we will come to our famous and most admired problem of geometry, that is the tetrahedron. We have to find out how many planes of symmetry exist in the tetrahedron. So what do? You make the tetrahedron inside a cube. You have just made it to see the C2 axis. And then the 6 diagonal planes of that imaginary cube will also act as diagonal plane, mirror planes of symmetry for the tetrahedron as well. So the answer will be, there are 6 mirror planes present in the tetrahedron. So simple. I explained in a very simple way, in a simple line. So this is the carbon, this is the hydrogen, another hydrogen, another hydrogen, another hydrogen. This is the tetrahedral molecule. I am saying that one I will show here for just for information. This diagonal plane for the cube will also be a mirror plane, dividing plane for the tetrahedron. So all the 6 will act as 6 mirror planes for the tetrahedron. So the answer will be, there are 6 mirror planes of symmetry present in the regular tetrahedron. When I say regular, I mean that this is not a chiral carbon, mind you. All the same hydrogen atoms are, all the 4 corners sides have hydrogen atoms only. If it become a chiral carbon, then these planes will not exist, even those axes will not exist, which we had found out for C3 and 3C2. Now hope you are understanding what differentiates a dissymmetric molecule from a symmetric molecule. And when something is dissymmetric, it shows optical activity. It's another question which is not in our course, but I will ask you in the discussion forum, why the things which don't have symmetries, they rotate the plane of the polarized light. What is the reason for this? You tell me. Let us now proceed further. Octahedron. Yes, octahedron. We have to find out number of planes in the octahedron. First, there are 2 types of planes here. One is the square planes And the answer is how much? I will not repeat. It's 3. Because there are 3 C4 axes into it. So if 3 4 axes automatically means there should be 3 square planes perpendicular to it. One can be shown like this. One can be shown like this. The other can be shown like this. The third can be shown like this. So these are there. There are 6 more planes of symmetry into it. And to see them, follow the same trick which you followed for visualizing 6 C2 axes in this geometry. And I told you how to do it. I told you first you see a square, PTCL4. In PTCL4 there are 4 sigma vertical planes. 2 like this and 2 like this. But I ask you to ignore the planes which are along diagonals. In the same way, I asked you to ignore the C2 axis along the diagonals of one square. So there are 3 squares into it, and you are considering only these 2 in each square. So there must be 6 sigma vertical planes. But here in octahedron, they are not called vertical planes because there are 3 square planes into it, so it is not practical to say which one is horizontal and which one is not horizontal. Therefore, they are called sigma dihedral planes because actually when we see these 2 variety of planes in the octahedron, in each square, in each of the 3 squares, they will be cutting the faces of the octahedron. Therefore, they have been named as 6 sigma D. D means dihedral, means dividing the face, bihedral or dihedral. So that way we found out that in the octahedron there are total 9 mirror planes of symmetry. And if you remember in the cube also there are total 9 mirror planes of symmetry. So symmetry wise octahedron and cube are very similar. There is one more axis of symmetry which is called improper axis of symmetry. Actually, the axis of symmetry which we discussed have given the symbol C and there is a subscript number C2, C3, C4. These are called proper axis of symmetry. And there is another one which is called improper axis of symmetry that has got a symbol S, N. This is called improper axis of symmetry. So we will try to discuss this improper axis of symmetry on next time. Today I will leave you with a question. Note down the question and solve it. If in the sodium chloride unit cell structure, the atoms lying along, the atoms are ions. You see, here it is not, we have to be too stiff. Both can be called. So if the atoms lying along 1C4, 1C3 and 1C2 axis are removed in the entire lattice. Atoms lying along 1C4, 1C3 and 1C2 axis are removed. Then what will be the new formula of sodium chloride? Calculate and tell me in the discussion forum.